even as a little girl, I've always been fascinated, though not in a good way, about the way people have the audacity to define you, to tell you who you are, and maybe even to say that the way society has given us handouts as men, as women, giving us the definition of who we are, who we should be in relationships, our roles in relationships, not considering that, human beings are different. The need of my husband might be different from from the need of another man. So it has always really fascinated me, and I think that it has created a very limited experience for people when they come together in relationships and marriages. They aren't able to give expression to who they are and what they could really bring to the table, what they could contribute to that relationship. I know that generally, there are some roles that are intrinsically that have been defined by nature. For instance, only a woman can breastfeed, right? Because only you has the faculty to be able to do that for the child. But then again, with the advancement of technology, men also now can feed. The woman pumps the milk with breast pump, and then he gives it to the child. So yes, I'm not saying that there aren't gender roles. I acknowledge that there are gender roles, but a man can cook, a woman can cook, a man can, in this age now where, there is, we're all clamoring for gender parity, gender inclusiveness, and all of those. Women are now empowered to work, right? So for a man whose identity has been long defined by his ability to provide, what happens now when, he's not the only one bringing that to the table? The woman you're married to also brings that to the table. And some cases, even in a more generous fashion that the man is even able to do. So what happens to the sense of self-worth of that man? If the thing that that you're supposed to bring primarily to that relationship, your partner is also bringing it. What I'm trying to say here is the power of self-knowledge can never be overemphasized. Over the years, what are those things that you've had to play down on, or those things that you've had to disesteem, or you've had to disregard concerning yourself? And by that word, I mean things that come to you naturally, things that make you tick, things that you love and enjoy doing, things that contributes to your original person that you've had to stop building on because people have told you that's not a woman should do, that's not what a man should do, that's not who a woman should be, that's not what a man should be. You have deliberately and consciously ignored that aspect of your life, and now you're emerging the person that you're not. And sometimes this sort of causes a lot of friction, unhappiness, and frustration in relationships, not necessarily because the other party is not a good person, but because you as a person, you're not bringing your best self. You're not representing who you are in that relationship. So the tendency is to look towards the other person for those things that you've killed within yourself, because you now want to align yourself to who society says you should become. So you're looking for those things that you should be looking within yourself in the other partner. And I believe it just takes away, a lot of joy, a lot of fulfillment. It takes the very essence of what a relationship should be. The Bible says two shall come together and become one. There is power in the two coming. They are coming together. It's not like there is power in the power of each one of them. And the real power, when the Bible says that two shall come together to become one, is in their being, in their coming together, in their own originality. That's where the power is. So, for instance, we have this societal thing, it's a community thing where people say, oh, men don't communicate. Men don't know how to communicate. Oh my God. Whenever I heard that thing, it really, really annoys me, because I'm wondering, why are we such a confused people? Right? You say men are leaders. Okay, we all know. Okay, they say, oh, in the structure of the home, a man is supposed to be the leader. Yes, there is no contesting that. I believe in that. I am very Christian, so I believe in the, a woman should submit. But remember that the Bible also says that submitting to one another. But that's another conversation. So if you say that a man is the leader, how can he effectively lead without the ability to communicate? Tell me one leader that has excelled in his leadership and he or she wasn't able to communicate. And any good leader should be able to communicate. It is inherently a fundamental skill that any leader should have. So, I mean, if you don't want to be vulnerable as a man, I tend to believe that because some men don't want to be vulnerable, that's why they tend to kill or suppress their ability to communicate, because they know that if they're vulnerable, then that vulnerability would always find expression. But in order for them not to talk, not to be as expressive as they really want to be, they then kill that. So you don't find them communicating as often, as effectively as they really want to. Vulnerability is an essential connection tool in any marriage, I believe. Let's encourage our men to be vulnerable. Let's do away with things that limit how fulfilled we can be in our marriages. Let's eliminate these things, these beliefs these beliefs that have not served us well in Christendom, even in the community at large, things that have not served us well. Why do we need to be limited? Two hearts coming together. Communication is essential. Vulnerability is essential. And for me, they tend to work hand in hand. Like I explained before, if you don't want to be vulnerable, then you will censor your ability to communicate as often as you want to.